So good morning student. So in our previous video we have discussed about some basics on Le-Chatelier's principles. I hope you had studied on it. So today we are going to start the next topic, that is ionic equilibrium. So as in our previous videos we have discussed about some physical equilibrium basically. So now today we are moving towards our next topic, that is ionic equilibrium. Means what is ionic equilibrium, student? Like suppose I have any molecule, this is AB, and it is going to be ionized like A plus and B minus. Means this is cation, this is anion. So these ions will be in a kind of equilibrium with this molecule. So such type of equilibrium we will deal in this topic, that is ionic equilibrium. So today is very basic what you have to study in this ionic equilibrium, or from where you have to study it. So first of all, what we have to understand, what is electrolyte basically. So electrolyte is kind of two types. One is weak electrolyte and one is strong electrolyte. So as we know, what is weak electrolyte, student? Weak electrolyte means whatever we have, suppose we have any weak acid. Okay. All weak acids are weak electrolyte. Like we can say that all organic acids can be a weak acid. Like we all know a very common example, that is CH3COOH. This is what? Acetic acid. So acetic acid is a weak acid. Okay. So it is a weak electrolyte, or you can say formic acid, or there are a lot of example you can study like HCOOH. So the acid which contain carbon will be a weak acid. Okay. So weak acid can be categorized as a weak electrolyte. Similarly, weak bases, and we know na, the weak base like ammonium hydroxide, the weak base like that is NH4OH. But NaOH is a strong base, so it will not be considered as a weak electrolyte. Okay, NH4OH is weak base. And similarly salt. How a salt can form? Acid and base will combine to form a salt. For example, we can say that hydrogen cyanide HCN is a weak acid, and H4OH is a weak base. So acid and base will combine, it will form a salt, or you can say salt, that is NH4CN. NH4CN. So it will be a weak salt. Okay. So similarly, such electrolytes are known as weak electrolytes. So what will happen? Any weak electrolyte, student, look at here carefully. Any electrolyte, suppose I have this CH3COH. Okay, CH3COH. If it will ionized, so it will give CH3CO negative and H plus. Because it is weak acid, so the amount of the ions, it will be less. Means the weak electrolyte means which will feebly ionized, or you can say dissociated, which is weakly dissociated. So in case of this weak electrolyte, maximum the dissociation will be approx, it will be approx 5%. It will only 5% dissociated. So means we can say that the degree of dissociation, that will be alpha, it is approximately less than 0.05. It is 0.05. Means this is a case of weak electrolyte. And similarly, what are the strong electrolytes, student? Strong electrolytes are the electrolyte, strong electrolytes means strong acid. You can consider any acid like HNO3, nitric acid. You can also consider sulfuric acid. You can also consider hydrochloric acid. These all are strong acid. So it will considered as a strong electrolyte. Okay. And similarly, strong bases, like what are strong base? That is NaOH. These are strong acid. You can categorize it. Strong acid. NaOH is strong base, means it will be also considered as strong electrolyte, NaOH, or you can say KOH, calcium hydroxide, any hydroxides, oxides or hydroxides of alkali or alkaline earth metals are known as strong base. Or what are the strong salt? Strong salt. Strong salt means any acid and base will combine. So if any one component is strong, it will definitely strong electrolyte. Like for example, suppose you are going to consider acid HCl plus NaOH. means this is acid and this is base. So what it will form? Salt. It will form NaCl plus water, that will be H2. So acid plus base forms salt plus water. So this is acid and this is base. So if any one of the component will be strong, then the electrolyte, means the salt which will form, will be considered as strong electrolyte. So in this case, this is strong acid, this is strong base, but any one of the component will be strong, तो वो कंपोनेंट आपका क्या हो जाएगा, वो इलेक्ट्रोलाइट आपका क्या हो जाएगा, स्ट्रॉन्ग इलेक्ट्रोलाइट हो जाएगा. तो स्ट्रॉन्ग इलेक्ट्रोलाइट के केस में क्या होगा स्टूडेंट, ध्यान से ये देखिएगा. फॉर एग्जांपल, if you have any strong electrolyte, for example NaCl, okay, it will ionize like Na positive and Cl negative. For example HCl, it is also a strong electrolyte, it will give you H plus and Cl minus. So in case of this strong electrolyte, I am writing only by single arrow, but in case of the weak electrolyte, I'm writing a double arrow, means equilibrium, reversible sign. It indicates that the strong electrolyte will completely dissociated. It will be completely dissociated. So the degree of dissociation will be 100%, means that will 1. But in case of this is 0. At approx 5% it will be dissociated. But in case of a strong electrolyte, the degree of dissociation will be 100%. So in case if this HCl will totally dissociated into H plus and Cl minus, so in that case there will be no kind of equilibrium will exist. But here there will be equilibrium, means this acetic acid will ionize into acetate plus hydrogen ion, then this will also form this feebly, very less, but there will be some kind of equilibrium exist. But in case of strong electrolyte, there is no equilibrium will exist. So for this student, ionic equilibrium, we have to deal only with weak electrolytes. We will deal with weak electrolytes. So this is the basic idea about the electrolytes. I hope it is very clear to you. So just open your NCERT book, make a simple notes and try to understand what are the kind of electrolytes. Then in our next video, we will discuss about classification of acids and bases, like Arrhenius theory, Bronsted-Lowry concept, Lewis acid and Lewis bases. Then we will move towards our Ostwald dilution law. Then we will deal with pH. So the very basic and conceptual topic is started. So first you have to make your notes from your books, from your reference books. So about the electrolytes and their dissociation. Okay. So dissociation means this is going to dissociate. Okay. I hope it is clear to you. तो मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में फॉर आवर क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ एसिड्स एंड बेस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ डिफरेंट थ्योरीज. सो टिल देन थैंक यू एंड हैव अ नाइस डे.